guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about endometriosis and basically covering a few things about it. I might make a part 2 because I feel like there's so much to talk about. Try and help some of you if in case you think you might have it. And it wasn't until I had surgery and they found out I had endometriosis. Surgery is the only way you can officially diagnose endometriosis. You can have like cameras, so internal cameras put in. I've had them many a time. I have them every like couple of months for about a couple of years. They never get any easier. You can sometimes find endometriosis through there, but not always because it can grow in loads of different places. So the only way to really diagnose it is through surgery. I'm just going to read out the like official NHS description of it. So endometriosis is a condition where tissue similar to the lining of the womb starts to grow in other places. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about me and how I found out I had it. So basically I started getting my pains when I was around 11-12. It takes on average about 7 years to get a diagnosis for endometriosis. I just thought I had really bad period pains. I thought I was just cursed with bad periods, heavy periods. Basically I thought it was normal, which it's not, because you know everyone talks about having bad period pains. I didn't realise that not everyone experienced the pain like me. For me, not for everyone that has endometriosis, but for me it is really heavy. I will bleed throughout the month even when I'm not on my period. So that's what made it quite concerning for me, where I started to think, okay, this surely isn't normal that I'm bleeding when I'm not on my period. And a few times it was painful for me to go for like a wee, and I would bleed sometimes when I went for a wee. Sometimes I'd be asleep and wake up and there'd be blood in the bed. There's a lot of symptoms that if you have them, I feel like you should push to go to your doctor. So when this bleeding started for me, I knew it wasn't right, so I went to the doctors. They told me I had cystitis, and so they gave me medication for that. I took the antibiotics and nothing changed. So I went back. They gave me another set of antibiotics. They also didn't work, they didn't do anything, didn't stop the pain or anything. So then a few times like after that, I would wake up in the middle of the night in excruciating pain, and my mum would have to take me to A&E, and I would be waiting there for hours and hours and hours in this awful pain. They did tests, like blood tests and all these kind of things, and no one really knew what was wrong. So they just gave me like some medication, like pain medication, and said to keep an eye on it, blah blah blah. And this went on for years. Eventually I was at work one day when I was about 18, I would say 18, 19. I was at work one day and it was actually Christmas Eve, and I was out on the shop floor, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere this excruciating pain came where I literally froze on the shop floor. I couldn't move, I couldn't walk, I just fell to the floor, was crouched on the floor screaming, crying my eyes out. Now obviously I worked in a shop, a supermarket actually, and so there was tons of people there. Obviously it was Christmas Eve, it was super busy. That freaked me out even more because everyone was looking at me, no one knew what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. My manager came out, helped me up, took me to out the back where the medical room is, and sat me down, and she was trying to help me, and she gave me like a hot water bottle, some painkillers and stuff like that, and it literally did nothing. I could hardly talk to her. I could only really point out where my pain was. They were really worried, so they actually rang the ambulance. I guess because it's Christmas Eve, they are super busy around that time. The ambulance said it would literally take like 2 to 3 hours for them to come and get me. So in the end they rang my mum, and my mum drove out, came and got me, and then took me to A&E. They did loads of different tests, P tests, stuff like that. they noticed blood in my pee, and they thought through that I had an ectopic pregnancy, but they couldn't be sure that it was that. They wanted to also give me keyhole surgery to see if it was definitely that, if it wasn't like an underlying issue. Yeah, they arranged my surgery and it was the following year. It literally took a whole year to get a surgery. In the year that went by, I had like ultrasounds, I had internal cameras, all of this kind of stuff really showed up. Eventually it came round for me to have my surgery, and I had the surgery and they found out I had endometriosis. I'd never heard anyone talk about it before. I'd never learnt about it in school, which I feel like they should teach this in secondary school to girls when they have like the period talk and the sex talk, blah blah blah. They managed to burn away most of my endometriosis, but in turn it left a lot of scarring inside my womb that can be damaging, but they don't know the extent of the damage. There is no cure for endometriosis. It keeps growing back and back and back once you have it, so mine has grown back, but they try not to give surgery out like as often because obviously there are a lot of cautions they need to take. Obviously it's not good to be under a lot, and it's also not safe if you haven't had children yet and you want to have children, and for your other organs, like they don't know what they're going to damage basically. Still now obviously it's growing back, I get really bad pains, I bleed all the time, I get bad migraines, I feel fatigued where I literally find it hard to do day-to-day tasks. Endometriosis doesn't just cause period pains, it causes so much throughout your body, which is why even if you have a few of the symptoms, I recommend going to a doctor and asking if it's a possibility that you have it. Even now when like I work as a flight attendant, on a few occasions I've got landed back middle of the night, 2-3 in the morning, and I've had to drive home and I've been in such excruciating pain. I've had to pull over halfway to my house and just get out the car and then crouch down on the floor for a few minutes. I have like tons of painkillers that the hospital have prescribed me because obviously there is no cure, so pain medication is kind of the only thing that I can do. So I'm going to just read out a few of symptoms. So breast pain is a big symptom. So you know when your boobs feel like tender when you're like due on your period, that's kind of how they feel a lot of the time. Migraines, like I said, I get quite bad migraines as of recently. I never used to suffer with them, but recently I've been getting really bad migraines. Brain fog, thinking about something and then all of a sudden my mind literally just goes blurry. Mood swings is another one. So one minute you'll be like super happy, next minute you'll be super moody. I mean, I have this, but then I feel like a lot of girls on the pill have this because of the hormones that are being put into their body. Anxiety and depression are two big ones. Fatigue, like I say, feeling so tired that it's hard to carry out day-to-day tasks. Even doing a small task, such as like say hoovering, it can really drain your energy. Insomnia is another one, but I don't have that luckily. Night sweats, I never really get that, that's another one. Feeling cold, I have this. I literally am cold all of the time. Bad period pains, like I say. Bleeding throughout the month, that's another one. Blood clots, if you have clots when you are on your period, this is another sign. I get this. Painful sex is another one. Infertility, obviously if you're trying for a baby and you are struggling to get pregnant, this might be the reason. Abdominal pain, painful bowels, so when you're passing and it hurts. Diarrhea or constipation. Nausea, vomiting, I get nausea all the time. Food intolerance, needing a wee really urgent, I have this. If I start to need a wee at some point, I need to go there and then. It's like really hard for me to hold it. Lower back pain, pain down your legs and your knees, chest pain, and coughing up blood. I'm going to actually try and insert a picture of when I came out of surgery and what my belly looked like, because your belly gets really swollen once you've had the surgery because they have to pump gas into you to kind of get the camera to see everywhere. So I'm just gonna like answer like a couple of like common questions that might be had. So like, what's the worst thing about it might be one, and that's probably just like the not knowing. So the not knowing of like treatment, not knowing if you're ever going to get rid of it, not knowing if you're going to have a flare-up when you're out, not knowing if you're going to leak when you're out, not knowing if you're going to have trouble getting pregnant. And another one is like what medication I am on. I actually have cocodamol, codeine, tramadol. They're the type of medications I have. I don't obviously take them all at the same time, obviously. I have ones for different levels of pain. I try and not take them if I can, but if it's unbearable then I will take one. Obviously hot water bottles are good, hot drinks are good, hot baths, but they don't really stop the pain, it just kind of eases it a bit. I just wanted to make this video not too long but a bit informative. I'll probably do like a part 2 maybe if you guys want one. But I just wanted to bring awareness around it, and if any of you have endometriosis, let me know and we can help each other out and we can give each other tips on how to help the pain. If any of you think you've got endometriosis, give me a message on my Instagram or leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching this video guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!